Trigger warning, you are now watching Wrestle AM, coming to you live courtesy of Kocosports.com. Of course, I am the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. It's right, boom, boom, here shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there, way across the pond there in southern England, talking about none other than the English stud muffin himself, LK. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I am absolutely tired from a long day at work, and I came home. This is my fifth podcast of the night. Fifth. I did an MMA AM with Keith from MMATakeover.com. We went an hour. I just did a Patreon show of SOS Wrestle Talk covering UWF starting over from 1988. Then I did a LK Sings, which is incredible, by the way. And then I basically sung the 205 Live intro during the intro, and it was hilarious, and people liked it. The patrons liked it, so they said, can you do an actual sing-song? I fucking sang the NXT TakeOver theme. It was fucking hilarious. And I did a 205 Live review for Patreons, and now I'm on Wrestle AM on Kocosports.net. The man who works harder than a damn Pensacola stripper is here. And I'm joining you today, Boom Booms. However, there is an asterisk next to my appearance.
Yes.
Due to the fact I'm putting Patreon here, and I won't be watching Impact, but I'll be listening to Booms breaking it down so I can judge to myself if I want to go and watch anything. So Booms, I'm a listener, I'm an audio guy. Enjoy your review.
Okay, I'll do an auto review. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining us live online. I'm looking at you, Andy Paps. I know he's there. I know Chauncey's probably waiting in the wings. And guy who doesn't lie on YouTube for views. I know you're watching. How you doing?
If I was wearing pants, I'd get up and do the suck it. No word of a lie. Oh God. Brooms, you talk negatively about the Impact Wrestling show. Fuck off. But I've had enough of being nice to people. I've had enough. I've literally drawn the line now. I've had enough of being sugarcoating and being nice to people. What a coincidence! Every single time we mention Impact Wrestling in the title, he launches himself into the shadows. And then says, apparently, I stole the channel from Dave. That was the latest one, Booms. I stole the channel from Dave. Jesus, even though the title's called Kocosports and I'm a staff member for Kocosports, but who knows?
All right. You know, let's get to the task at hand. I'm going to tell you, LK, since the first question I always ask is win, loss, or tie, but since you didn't check it out, I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a win. I'm going to give it a solid win. I think it was a solid show. There were a few flaws, but I think it was an entertaining show from top to bottom. I mean, some of the stuff, to talk about is nitpicky, but, that's, with every show. But overall, it was a win. I would recommend you go back and check this out, and let me tell you why. From top to bottom, it was an entertaining show. There was, there were a few things up and down that, maybe I would have tweaked a little bit. For the most part, I think it was good. Now, this show starts out, you had the DCC. They came into the impact zone. They talked about anybody who stepped up, who's got in their way is going to get knocked down. This brought out, of course, Eli Drake and Tyrus. Eli Drake told everybody to hush, and then Tyrus said, no, you've got to earn your right to hear Eli Drake speak, but I got this. And they were going, well, you guys were all tough when you dropped us from behind last week. But now I think your mouth just wrote a check your ass can't cash. And how are you going to do when you go up against, when you face us head on, and made fun of all the members of the DCC? First of all, if I had to change anything about the DCC, I guess it would be the name, because the Death Crew Council, I honestly think it would work better if they were just the Council. I just think it works so much better, at least with the black suits and the white mask. But like I said, that's just a nitpicky thing. DCC, fine.
I like it.
Yeah, you like it.
I like it because then they can have the DCC itself instead. If they came around saying we're the Deaf Council,
just the Council. Because for me, it would be like a take on the Court of Owls from the Batman graphic novels.
Okay, I've never read them. Maybe that's why I just don't get it.
It's actually it's worth a read. But anyway, they basically Tyrus, started challenging the entire DCC to a match. Eli Drake's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, no, trust me, I got this." And it starts into an all-out brawl. It really started as a 2-on-1 attack on Tyrus, and then 1-on-1 with Eli Drake. They went to the outside. They started brawling around the ring. They go to a commercial break, and then they come back, and then it turns out it's a handicap match. It's Eli Drake taking on the Death Crew Council. Actually, it wasn't a very bad match. It wasn't a bad match at all. But here's the problem with this. The problem I had with this is heel on heel. And this is one of those where these are two, obviously, two bad factions here. So it's like, who does the audience cheer for? I thought maybe it was going to be Eli Drake and Tyrus because they were the ones screwed over last week because they were jumped from behind by the DCC. So it's like they've got a bone to pick, but Eli Drake and Tyrus were using all the heel tactics, taunting the other guys in the DCC to come out, and while the referee's back was turned, double teaming somebody. So that didn't make sense. But I think the thing that hurt everybody in this was the fact that, okay, if Eli Drake and Tyrus lose the match, they look like idiots because they went in with a one-man deficit. So they went in there knowing they were going to get handicapped without a plan and lost a fight. Now, if the DCC loses, they look stupid because, well, there was three guys. They're three guys. They took on two guys, and they lost. I guess maybe what I could have done differently is if it was me, and, these guys are bad, Drake and Tyrus are bad guys anyway, you know what I would do? I would go down to the damn ring with a fucking baseball bat. I would go down there with a chain. I would go down there with, two brass knuckles on each hand. I would go down there with a chair. I would go down there with a kendo stick. And I'd go in there and fucking light them up for jumping me. And I can get away with it because I'm a bad guy. That would make a little bit more sense. Or, they could have challenged him, okay, you know what, you guys are going to have to find a partner. We'll give you another week, or you'll have to be later tonight. But they didn't. I'm not really going to count it against them because, it did turn out to be a good match. But eventually, Drake completely bailed on Tyrus. He wound up fighting all three members of the DCC all by himself. It wasn't too much longer before James Storm hit the last call. They get the win. So I want to see if this is a face turn by Tyrus. I don't know where they're going with this. Is this going to turn into a Tyrus-Drake feud? What's next for the DCC? But all in all, I thought it was enjoyable. Like I said, but I would have made a few tweaks here and there. So, based on, sorry, my back is itching. It's like itching like crazy right now for some reason. But based on that, based on the information that I've given you, okay, do you think that was a good way to start off the match? Do you think I'm being a little too nitpicky? What say you?
No, you had a fair point of, why would the Hills go on unarmed? It makes them look silly, and the DCC should have beaten them down because there was more members. Everything you said made sense to me. It sounded okay. Anything with my boy Eli Drake, and I've said this, if Kocosports became multi-billionaires and we owned our own wrestling promotion, I would vouch to have Eli Drake and EC3, my top two heels of the company. Mm-hmm. I've said that for many months now.
Yeah, I think Eli Drake is a great heel.
Do you know he was in NXT for a while?
No, I did not know that. That really doesn't shock me because NXT has actually dropped the ball on a few people. NXT dropped the ball on Kenny Omega. They dropped the ball on Eva Lise. They dropped the ball on Katrina. They dropped the ball on Willie Mack. That's
Cage.
Yeah, Brian Cage. So that's 5 people right there. I can name just off the. I probably could find more if I actually, spend some time doing some research. But those are, 5 people that NXT completely dropped the ball on. Oh, and Son of Havoc.
Yeah, definitely. He was on Tough Enough, but he wasn't that great on Tough Enough. I remember I watched on the network a couple of weeks ago. I watched the final because Luke Robinson, I think that's his name. I don't know what he's doing now. But the finalist in that season with Austin and Booker and Trish and Bill DeMott, that guy had it. I don't know what he's doing now. I might look it up on Twitter to see what he's doing now, but that guy had it. And I do not know why he didn't win that. But yeah, he was on Tough Enough and he sucked. That's why he doesn't.
All right. Then next we go backstage. Braxton Sutter, he runs in the alley. They start talking about, her training. Maria barges in and demands, coffee. And then Allie had a funny line. Do you want coffee or whiskey coffee? I just thought that was a little funny. And basically told her to buzz off. And then, the whole pushing marriage with Laurel and Braxton's going, okay, this is getting a little out of control. You can't force this. She's like, no, I can't force it, but I can't expect it. And then walked away. And then Braxton's just like, this is unbelievable. And I'm like, this is probably like the weirdest storyline I think TNA has going on. I really want this to end just because this is like stuff that I think soap opera writers would be like, whoa, this is a little too extreme even for us.
What happened this week? Sorry, in the Sega with Ali, Maria, and Braxton. What happened this week?
Well, to skip ahead, basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this thing right here. Is Braxton Sutter, runs into Ali, and then Maria breaks up their conversation, and is telling Ali, go buzz off, go get me coffee, and then Maria telling Braxton, you better start popping the question to Laurel, and Braxton's like, this is ridiculous. I can't, you can't force this, basically saying you can't force me to like propose to this woman. And Maria, of course, pulling the whole card of, I can't force you, but I can expect it, basically using Allie as leverage. And then a little bit later on, he sits down kind of like one-on-one with Mike Bennett, and Bennett saying, from one married man to a guy who's gonna get married, it's really not that bad. It's like the greatest, and Braxton's like, dude, he's like, no disrespect, man, but how do you deal with Maria on a daily basis? And Bennett's like, look, I don't deal with her. I mean, it's a joy, it's like, what, I'll do you do the right thing. And then Sutter said, Bennett, you're right. I need to do the right thing, and I'm going to go do that right now. And then I looked up and down on the show, and I did not see where they came back on this, or maybe I was in the kitchen or something, but I think that's where they left it. He said he was going to do the thing right. I thought he was going to the ring. I thought he was going to go to the ring. They were going to end this thing. But I don't know what happened. And I thought hopefully they'll wrap this up next week.
Good luck with that. We've been doing this Maria and Ali stick now for fucking donkeys, like 9 months, give or take.
Mm-hmm. So
I've always enjoyed the Ali stuff. Because I think when it all finishes, Ali's going to be a megastar. Like, she's going to be a megastar in the company. So I'm just waiting for it to happen. And I said this like 5 months ago that I hope they don't leave it too long to the point where people are uninterested. But they'll sort it out. I hope. I sort out their hope. That does sound like what we normally get every week. So they continue that trend.
Okay. Then next, they were out in the arena. Brandi Rhodes, of all people, was there and saying she enjoys being the newest knockout, but she's got a problem with somebody, and she's one of those people. If she's got something to say, she's just going to go out there and say it. And said, Rosemary, if you want to fight, here I am, baby girl. And then Rosemary comes out with the rest of the Decay. And then Rosemary, started cutting a promo saying that we saw potential in you. And, and Decay comes for everyone, whether it's by choice or by force. The Decay is everywhere. And then, it looked like, Abyss and Crazy Steve were just kind of standing there, doing like the walk back and, oh my God, I bumped into him, that kind of deal. And, then Rosemary attacks. She locks, Brandi in a guillotine choke. And meanwhile, Crazy Steve and Abyss are cheering her on. Then they mentioned that Cody Rhodes was not there, but Moose's music hit, and he ran out there. He cleaned house, and then they all ran off. So it looks like we're going to have something coming up on that. Actually, a little bit later on the show, Moose said, told Decay, if you mess with her, then you're messing with me. And then Brandi says, I got friends here, and you know what? Next week we're going to do a mixed tag match. It's the Decay versus Moose and Mini Moose, is what she called herself.
Oh, so wow! What did she legit call herself, Mini Moose?
Yes, Moose and me. I am quote. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Oh, that's not very nice to say, but hey ho. Mini Moose.
I think she's hot, but whatever.
I don't care if she's hot. She should be saying that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
All right. The next we have.
I can't
believe you said you didn't like it. I thought it was an excellent acquisition for TNA to hire Brandi Rhodes. I remember back in 2016, she was an amazing ring announcer, and I think she'll do wonders in the Knockouts division. Pay me. Anyway, go on.
Then next we get an Aaron Rex match versus Robbie E. It was actually kind of funny. There was one point where Aaron Rex threw Robbie E to the outside. Rockstar Spud took off his jacket and started choking Robbie E with it. Of course, drops it. Before the referee turns around, the referee's like looking at him. He's like, "Oh, I just got hot, referee. Sorry. I thought that was funny. But they did a couple of spots where Aaron Rex is getting drugged, but then there's Spud, holding on to Aaron Rex, trying to keep him from getting drugged around by Robbie E, and he gets pulled in the ring, and he's telling, no, stop. And during the distraction, Aaron Rex adjusts his, I guess it was like tape on these two fingers right here, which you could probably insinuate that he was loading them up, that they had something in it, and he punched Robbie E behind the referee's back, pins him. He gets the win at about 5 minutes flat. You know what? I was actually kind of apprehensive about this gimmick at first, but the whole Aaron Rex gimmick, the whole thing he's doing, kind of like Liberace, it's growing on me. I am actually kind of liking it. I'm actually kind of liking it now because it's a throwback to the flamboyant wrestlers or exoticos if you go to Mexico. It's a throwback to Adrian Street and Adrian Adonis, back in the WWF days. The only thing I kind of didn't like about this was when they start the match, Aaron Rex always wears like these gaudy rings, and he takes them off and he puts them in Spud's hat, and Spud puts the hat back on, and which I like. Instead of having like this tape on his fingers that we're kind of insinuating is loaded, I think they should have done a spot, and I think they kind of did this, but I think they did it the wrong way. There was one spot, remember the spot I was telling you about where both Spud and Robbie are playing tug of war with Aaron Rex, and Spud ultimately gets drugged in the ring while hanging on to Aaron Rex. His hat comes off, and I'm thinking it would have been a better spot had the rings fallen out of the hat. Aaron Rex puts on like 2 or 3 of those gaudy rings, and behind the referee's back punches Robbie E, lays him out. I think they could have done the exact same thing, because here's the thing. If he's got these 2 objects that's in his tape on his fingers, how come the referee's not finding that during the pat down? And then 2, how come, like, if they're loaded, I mean, what adjustment does it take, to load the tape here? I mean, all he's doing, I mean, it's not like he's flipping it like it's right here and he flips it all the way around. No, it's already there. He just tweaks it a little bit, and I guess that makes it deadly for some reason. But why isn't he, knocking somebody out with a regular punch, right then and there? I mean, it'd be like having, it's like, I've got brass knuckles on, but here, let me push them up just a little bit. Okay, now I can knock you out. So I think that's something that needs a little tweaking. Like I said, it's a little nitpicky thing, but I like, I like the Aaron Rex thing because it's actually kind of timely in the world that we live in right now, because we're looking at, we're really starting to challenge in 2017, gender roles, and then there's all these different types of gender identity now, and it's done in such a way where it's not mocking or ridiculing people of different sexual preferences or sexual identities. I just think it's timely, and it's not done in a condescending way, and it's not answering it's done in a way where Aaron Rex isn't saying he's gay or anything. I mean, and that's the thing. Like Adrian Street, even to this day, he's still doing the flamboyant gimmick. Never ever in his career did he ever answer the question, well, are you gay? Is your character gay? He never answered it. He just left it out there and ambiguous, and that's how Aaron Rex is playing it. Is he gay? Is this him coming out? Is this him just playing mind games with his opponents? There's the mystery right there, and that's what makes it interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I can't really comment on it because I haven't seen Aaron Rex in the ring yet.
Well, I'm just saying, but certainly you've seen the gimmick, so you can comment on it.
I skipped it last week. Like,
for me, it's growing on me. It's
I
something
can't. I
different.
don't really know. Like, I just find it when I'm watching. I just find it a bit. I don't really know. Like, it's part of me is like, you know what? He's kind of given it a go, and like you said, it has been done in the past. It's just whenever I think I just picture Orlando Jordan, and it makes me just go, "What?" I don't know why it just has, but you know, bless them for trying. And I always say the best thing about Impact is that they try. Like they do try. Like at least they're trying and putting effort in. And it seems like Rex is that type of character to say, "Hey, look, can I try this?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." It's like if that's the case, sure. If he wants to do that, sure, more power to him. Who am I to judge what he does? He can do what he wants. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I just don't have an opinion on it because I didn't watch it last week because it was little segments and I just didn't want to watch it because I just didn't watch it because while I'm watching, I was doing other stuff. And this week I didn't watch because obviously I was doing 17,000 other different podcasts. But I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell with this. I'll give it a month from now. So on the 10th of March. I will tell you what my full opinion is of it, but because I haven't seen the match, I haven't seen anything yet, I'll just wait and let it play out. But it's different, and they try, so I'll give them that.
Okay. Next, Backstage. And by the way, they did a good job of this. Eddie Edwards, taking on Lashley in the main event. They did a good job building it up. Like, they showed Eddie backstage. He was with his wife, and Davey Richards back with... I don't think he and Angelina Love are married. I know they have a kid together. Maybe they got married. I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched Impact. I know that, real life, Davey Richards and Angelina Love are a couple. And I know that they were expecting I think they've already had I know at one point they were expecting a child. I believe they've had the child by now. But, they were back there. He was getting warmed up. He fist bumped Eddie Edwards and everything. They were getting ready. And they did a good job because they had all night they were showing, like, the series of the matches between Edwards and Lashley. They showed the one where Edwards won the title. They showed the one where Lashley won it back. They're just their whole feud starting back, I think, around October leading up to now, which I think was really well done. They did interviews, both between Edwards and Lashley, talking about their opponents, talking about their mindset going into this match. I think that was really well done by TNA, and I will definitely applaud them for that.
Was it really good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Well, it was done nicely. It was done short, sweet, to the point, which I absolutely love. Just get to the fucking point, and they did it. They showed highlights of their feud. They showed, then they had, like, sit-down interviews. Like, one was there was Eddie Edwards in the arena. There was Bobby Lashley backstage, and they just kind of, like, were interviewing them, and, they were sharing their thoughts about this rivalry, about their feud. And it was kind of hyping up the main event. They did this all throughout. They sprinkled it all throughout the show, which I think really sold the main event. It really made it seem important. I believe this was Eddie Edwards. This is Eddie Edwards' last shot, because if he loses, he doesn't get a shot at the championship as long as Lashley's the champion. So there's that, and it was just like this big fight feel to it. So that was something that was really well done.
That's good. I hope they have a good viewership. I hope the number goes up.
Yep, and then we get to the Hardy segment.
I saw that. I was on Twitter. 'Cause I was on their Twitter accounts to see if I could get any clips, and the clip I saw was where the Hardys were there, and they went like that, and then they went with Vanguard 1 somewhere, and the crowd are there going. It looked pretty cool. It looked cool. It's wrestling because wrestling. It's wrestling. That's it. It's fun.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. They go out there and they do their intro, with Reedy playing the piano and Maxwell, on her back, and they go out and there's like this gold stand. It's like a column they've spray painted gold, and there's like a black cloth covering it. And Matt said he's had a premonition, and they were trying to basically be the greatest tag team in all of space and time, and he said, there's some incredible news about their future, their expedition for gold, and it's coming together like pieces of a puzzle. And finally that puzzle came together today in clarity, and they pulls up the black cloth, and there's like a drone there, and it says Vanguard 1 has got an upgrade, and it will now give them the ability to teleport. I am not making this shit up. So, and this happened on the fucking show with the live fucking arena, and props to the editing team for doing this. They both reached out and they touched Vanguard 1, this drone, and they disappeared. They just teleported. And then they pop back up, and they're in Tijuana, Mexico. I'm not making this up. They popped up in Tijuana, Mexico, and they're like, aha. And they're like, how did you get here? Magic. And they start walking down the street, and then later it's revealed, they start talking with people, and then they go to, people who are the tag team champions in Tijuana, and they autograph somebody's forehead, and then they just show up at a wrestling promotion in Mexico, and it's later revealed that they're going to challenge. It's actually Psychosis and Super Crazy.
Wow, that's cool. That's Conan's promotion, correct? Crash.
I believe it is. And here's the thing: they're going to air that match next week.
That's really cool. That is really cool. That's creative. That's innovative. That's changing the way how things are normally done. Respect. That would get a win from me, and I'm excited next week because I'm thinking super crazy and fucking dogs. I like Psychosis. That's amazing. That is amazing. That is incredible. Only in 2017 could that have ever happened. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. It was. I was like, me. This is so damn ridiculous. But I like it.
Yeah, I saw the bit just where they vanished from the impact zone. That was cool. So I might actually check that out.
All right, next then we have a grand championship match. You have Drew Galloway defending against Mahalabali Shura. They go, they made it to 2 rounds, which I was actually kind of impressed with. The Shura, he won the first round. I think he won it 30-29. It was actually pretty good because Shira, he goes in there like a house of fire. He got a 2 count with a backslide. It looked like Galloway started to take back over, but then they go to the outside, and then eventually Shira takes back over control. The bell rang to end the round, and that's when Shira hit his finishing maneuver at the Sky High. But he couldn't take advantage of it because the round's over with, and it shouldn't affect the score. But Shira did win it. Yeah, he actually won it 29-28. So then they go to the second round. Galloway hits Shira in the face with a big boot. He throws some chops in the corner. Galloway hits a belly to belly for a 2 count. And then Galloway, it looked like Shira was going to hit a Sky High again. Galloway got out of it, hit a Claymore kick, then immediately followed up with a Future Shot DDT. He gets the win. Galloway retains. I do like Drew Galloway. This grand championship, I like it, but I don't. I like it because it's something different. It's something unique. But I kind of don't like pseudo MMA done in my pro wrestling because sometimes it comes off as hokey. I think, something like this kind of like championship, I think would benefit, and I don't know who else to compare it to in TNA, but like, if WWE did it, I would give it to somebody like Baron Corbin, somebody who can't go on these long, can't wrestle a match longer than 5 minutes. It's just somebody that can wrestle in like short bursts. Like if you're like trying to protect like a monster, somebody like that, this would be the perfect championship for him. So, I think Galloway is, in my opinion, is too good to hold the grand championship. I know this is just something they're doing to kill time.
That's the gimmick, though, isn't it? That's the point. He's too good for a mid-card belt, so he's going to make the grand championship equal as his star status, which I think is the part of his gimmick. So I like it. Ship format, I like it because I love MMA, and it means the matches are quick, and it means they're going to be short, sweet, to the point, and they're going to be spot. How the fucking cruiserweight should be. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but hey, I enjoyed it. I like Galloway a lot. I feel Galloway is somebody WWE completely wasted.
Oh yeah, shame on them.
Yeah, I think I know why. There was one incident where he got in a fight with his wife or then wife at a hotel while he was on tour with WWE, and I don't think he ever recovered from that because I think that's either about the time I think it may have been why he lost the Intercontinental Championship the way he did. And then he just never recovered from that. And then they stuck him in 3-man band. And even though they did get their cult following, he never really recovered. It wasn't until he got out of the WWE that his career really took off, in my opinion.
Who would have thought out of 3MB back in 2012 that in 2017 Galloway would be one of the best performers outside of WWE. Heath
Oh,
Slater
no.
would be involved in a high profile match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and Jinder Mahal would be teaming up regularly on Monday Night Raw. You would have laughed in our faces, but fair play to him.
All right. The next we welcome out the Helms Dynasty to the ring. Trevor Lee was first winning off the X Division Championship last week, and then, believe it or not, Shane Helms he turned around and cut a promo on Andrew Everett. By the way, I didn't know he was actually wrestling in Impact. I didn't know that, but I've actually heard of it. Andrew Everett. I've seen him on the couple of matches here and there on the independent. So, first of all, congratulations. I like seeing him on the national scene. And then Everett, he went taking this, slowing down, and goes, you know what? I've known you my whole life, but no disrespect, but you're wrong, about me, calling me the weak link, because, me and Trevor Lee, we've been everywhere together before, even with you, and everywhere we go, we win gold, and we did all that without you. And, it's like, maybe I'm not the problem. Maybe it's some old man living off his former glory. And Shane, was taking off his jacket, and then Trevor Lee jumped Andrew Everett from behind. They both Helms and Lee put the boots to Everett, left him laying in the ring. So, I guess there's a vacancy in the Helms Dynasty now. And I want to see. I guess this is going to lead to a feud between Everett and Lee, or maybe this is going to leave an opening with the Helms Dynasty. They'll bring in somebody new. I'm anxious to see who that may be, because theoretically, you want to bring in a young up-and-comer. You want to bring in somebody that's been working their ass off, and somebody who just needs that push. So you've been watching TNA a lot longer than I have, at least in this era. So is there anybody that comes to mind when I say I'm thinking of a young guy who really hasn't gotten that shot yet? Somebody, if you just gave him a really good push, he could actually become a breakout star. Is there anybody that comes to your mind?
It would have to be someone from Carolina, though, because that's the gimmick, isn't it? They're both Carolina boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there'll be anyone to replace Booms. I don't think there'll be anyone. I just think we'll get in a fucking amazing match of Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett if given time. That needs to be given time. If it does, it could be fucking amazing. That's the issue. Like Mark Andrews in the WUK Championship tournament, he went out there and he stole the show. Like, he had really good matches. In Impact, he was getting like 5 to 10 minutes. They need to let the X Division have long time. Now, you may be saying, oh, but you say the WWE Cruiserweights need to have less time. The X Division guys, TNA, let them wrestle the fast pace, the high flying, the risk taking style. If they could do that for a bit longer and maybe get the crowd to care about it, it'll be a different ball game. In WWE with 205 Live, they're wrestling at a very slow WWE style pace, which is why the Cruiserweights aren't getting over. So Impact, they allow their wrestlers to wrestle the way they want to wrestle, and the way they wrestle. They could have amazing matches. Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett could have a 4-star match any day of the weekend if given the fucking right amount of time. So I just pray they get the right amount of time. A good, decent build-up with the X Division title on the line. Who knows? Maybe we can make a babyface star in Andrew Everett.
All right. Next year we get to our main event here, which is Eddie Edwards versus Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the stipulation of this is Eddie Edwards' last chance. If he loses, he cannot challenge for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship as long as Lashley is the champion. They bring out, believe it or not, they had both Angelina Love and Eddie Edwards' wife. I think her name was her name escapes. I want to say Angelica, but I don't think that's it. I could be. It starts with an A. I forget.
Who?
I apologize. Eddie Edwards. He brought his wife out there. So
no clue. Was she hot?
Oh God, she was hot.
Okay, cool.
There's being a champion in the ring, and then there's being a champion in life. And Eddie Edwards, after looking at his wife, I want to say, congratulations, sir. You're a champion of life.
Oh, that's cool. That's so bad that the first question is she? I apologize.
Yeah. But it was cool. But you had Angelina Love and Edwards, his wife. They were both there at ringside. And this match actually starts out. I mean, it's actually pretty good back and forth. These two are jockeying for position. Eddie, he goes, he gets hit with a spine. He hits Lashley hits him with a spine buster. He puts the boot to him. Hits with a neck breaker. He puts the boots to him. They take him to the outside. Eddie Edwards, he makes a comeback. Things are looking good for him. Then there's one. But Lashley kind of gets the upper hand again, and then he kind of gets flattened. But Lashley goes and grabs the championship belt. He comes around. He's taunting Edwards' wife and Angelina Love. He gets back up on the ring. He's going in. Looks like he's about to clock Eddie Edwards with the championship. But then Davey Richards comes out and he snatches the belt away from Lashley, and then Eddie Edwards hits the Blue Thunder Bomb, gets a 2 count. Edwards hit a dive, and there was a belly on the outside. They go back into the ring, and then they do this cool sequence. And let me tell you something. This was actually pretty good, because what I think is good is when you can take something that people they know it's coming. They know it's coming. They see it coming from a mile away, but you hit them from a different angle. Like you do it, like you know what's expected, and they do what's expected, but you do what was expected in an unexpected way. And here's what they did. They go to this final sequence. So anyway, Lashley gets back in the ring. He's going for a spear, but then Eddie Edwards counters with his finishing maneuver, the Boston Knee Party, that flying knee, knocks Lashley the fuck out. And Eddie Edwards goes for the pin. 1, 2, and then Davey Richards yanks the referee out of the ring. Yes, you heard me correctly. And Eddie Edwards is like, and the referee's like, "What the hell are you doing? Get the hell out of here! You're not supposed to, And then even Eddie Edwards is like, "What are you doing?" It's like, I don't understand. And then Richards is just up in Eddie Edwards' face at the ring saying, "It's all about you. It's always been about you." And then he pointed over at his wife or girlfriend, whatever, Angelina Love, and Angelina Love clocked Edwards' wife. I mean, fucking cold cock. I mean, hit her with a fucking right hook and dropped her ass. I mean, just it wasn't just no, it was boom, and she fucking hit the fucking ground, and Edwards is like, "What the fuck?" And then this gives Lashley an opportunity to hit the spear. Lashley pins him, gets the 1, 2, 3. He bails out, and then afterwards, Eddie Edwards is staring up at Davey Richards, and then Angelina Love picks up Edwards' wife and rolls her into the ring, and and remember, this is female on female, so chicks are beating up chicks, and Richards is beating up Eddie, and the whole time Eddie's like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and there's one part where they're making Eddie's wife watches Richards, chokes out Edwards with a belt. These two, just beat the crap out of both of them. And then Richards and Angelina Love kiss in the middle of the ring. Edwards and his wife are unconscious, and that's it. That's the show. Oh. And I was like, wow. I knew this was coming. I think we all knew that this was coming. We all knew the heel turn was coming. But what I didn't know was they would drag the spouses into it. I didn't know exactly how he was going to do it. I knew it was coming, and I knew, okay, he's going to turn on his partner, but I didn't know they were going to drag the spouses into it. To me, that's like, okay, I'm sitting here waiting for it to come right here, but instead you hit me right here. I'm like, and I like that, because if you can do something where I can see it coming a mile away, but do it in a way that I didn't expect, bravo, Impact.
And in a way that sounds pretty much better than probably what they would have done. That's incredible. That's made me generally want to go watch that. I'm going to watch that before I go to bed tonight. That sounds amazing. We've been talking about how long is it going to be till Richards turns on Edwards, but never would I have thought, torturing, the wife and beating up the wife, and damn, that's some hatred there. That's a personal feud, which I hope kicks off and does a good main event and does a good number, because they're both incredible wrestlers, and I hope they draw for the company.
Because here's the thing, before tonight, like leading up, he's fist bumping Edward, he's fist bumping Richards, he's kissing his wife, he's shaking hands with Angelina. But you didn't know, you were thinking, okay, Angelina, she's just there. You didn't know she was fucking in on it. You had no idea she was fucking in on it too. That was the twist.
It was amazing. Well, I don't know if it was. It sounded amazing.
It sounds amazing because it fucking was. It was like, this is, if this is the new Impact, I'm going to keep watching. Because now that I know that Dixie Carter's not at the helm, they're not throwing money down this bottomless pit. It's not used to stroke her fucking ego. It's still almost like a different era. I mean, hell, I'm tempted to buy one of those brown bag specials advertised by Don West.
Do buy anything with Don West. Don't buy anything with Don West. Don't buy anything Don West sells. I love Don West. If loving Don West is wrong, I never, ever in this fucking world want to be wrong. Right, sorry. Butchered that. Damn, I love Don West. I could picture him and Mike Tenay calling. Got chills. But no, it sounded amazing, and I'm going to watch it. And yeah, I mean, I watch Impact every week, minus this week, because I had to play catch-up. But if I wasn't have to play catch-up, I would have definitely watched it. I'll be watching it next week, because I want to see the fallout. And I'm looking forward to the tapings where it's a complete new ownership. Like, not new ownership, sorry, a complete new, creative. And I'm excited for that. But thanks for the review there, Prims. And we're now here for our Elimination Chamber preview. And we're joined by a mystery co-host. It's a big fist. What have we got over there?
Oh my god, this is Gary the wrestling fan. I love talking about wrestling. Do you guys like talking about wrestling?
Absolutely. I love talking wrestling.
Well, that's because Brandon did. I sure do like big old man just throwing each other around. If y'all aren't careful, I will literally do this entire preview in that voice.
Oh my God, you're awesome, Sammy. By the way, this is the man who does dadding right. We're talking to a man who taught his young son how to two-sweet.
Oh, you damn right. I have photo evidence.
Yes,
and he
yes,
doesn't
he
think
does.
about it nowadays. I throw up the too sweet, and he'll come running from across the room and it's too sweet, and then run back to whatever he was doing.
Are you showing your son big Young Bucks matches yet?
No, I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't know if I need to show him the Young Bucks super kidding a 7-year-old. We're starting him off light. We're starting him off light, and then we'll work our way up to the more awesome stuff. When he's about 12 is when I'll sit down and go, now, son, this is ECW.
Wow.
And then his life will change forever.
Jesus. If you want to see the Young Bucks, just go down the zoo and check out the monkeys jumping around.
Watch the Spot Fest, and then they're good to go.
Yeah. Damn. Elimination Chamber. Are any of you two folks actually going to watch the show?
I'm going to watch it, but I have to watch the first hour of it while I'm still at work.
Okay, so will you be eligible at all to join the post show?
I think so, but I can make no promises.
Because if you miss like a little bit, I don't mind. As long as you watch the main event with the Chamber, that's really all that matters.
And I'll definitely see that for sure.
Okay, cool. So can I book you in? I want a co-host. I don't like doing pay-per-view review solo.
I'm going to try my damnedest.
That's what we like to hear. That's the spirit and the motivation we'd like to hear on the channel. Here we fucking go, my son. Here we go.
All right, well, we're going into WWE Elimination Chamber, which will take place on February the 12th from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, now real quick, even going into this, guys, are you excited about this pay-per-view, or do you think it's, they're just killing time to Mania?
I am excited. I do think it's way too soon after the Rumble. I think they should have waited a little bit longer because they haven't had as much time as I think they should have to build it up. But they keep saying it's a new Elimination Chamber, so I wonder if they've physically redone the Elimination Chamber to be a new type of structure, maybe one that isn't quite as dangerous. Because I'll be honest, the Elimination Chamber makes me nervous.
I like that. But anyway, I did read that they're going to change it, but who knows? I'm excited. It's half term. There's a week holiday from school. So I'll be watching it with he's either 11 or 12. Shame on me for not knowing, but obviously WWE pay-per-views take place at 1 to 4 a.m. So my mum asked if my younger brother could watch the pay-per-view with me. So I said, okay, because he didn't know that, because basically at night he watches the WWE YouTube channel. And I was like, dude, because I didn't know, because I work when he normally goes to sleep. So I had a week holiday. I was like, dude, why the fuck are you watching YouTube when you have a PlayStation that you can watch the WWE Network on, you tit? He was like, what? I was like, you can watch the WWE Network. You can watch that in full. He was like, oh, okay. Because he was going back and watching all the old Rumbles because they uploaded it for free on YouTube, silly people. But anyway. And oh, Elimination Chamber. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. That means I've got to watch it in the lounge. I was like, oh. But, it'll be exciting because now I can see what a 12-year-old will think of the WWE pay-per-view. He's going to be pissed off there's 3 women's matches, but what can you do about it?
There's 3 ladies matches on this show? Yeah, there is. I guess there's going to be Nikki Bella and...
Yeah, there's 3.
God damn. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. Because unlike Raw, at least all the ladies have a story, and the stories are at least decent. You know what I mean? Like, they've put some thought into them. It's not just, have them wrestle.
Very true.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready to get started?
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, as of right now, there are officially 7 matches booked for this pay-per-view, and I'm going to do these in really no particular order. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. I'm going to work my way up. We're going to have, I guess, tough love, sibling rivalry, what do you want to call it? Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. It looks like Luke Harper made a face turn on SmackDown this week. So him versus the Viper. I really don't see this going, not Randy Orton's way, because, he won the Rumble. He's going on to Mania. He lost to Cena on SmackDown. He really needs a win. Harper, I think he can wait. And here's another thing. This is something that I suggested. I want to kind of get your guys' opinions on this, especially you, Sammy. I think it's time for not only a face turn with Luke Harper, I think maybe you could do like a repackaging of them. Because I think because they're hurting right now for top talent, but I think Harper has enough skill where he could actually break out.
Yeah, and I think you could repackage him. I genuinely think you could repackage him and then not have it be too terrible far off from what he is right now. I think you could bring back the Big Rig Brody Lee idea and just have him be creepy trucker dude, but have him be a cool creepy trucker dude. Because he's got a following out there. It's not as big as it should be, but he does got a following out there. And what I see is that I think Bray will cost him the match in this. Randy Orton retains. It puts heat on Randy. Going into the, spoiler alert, I think that Bray will win the belt. And then going into the main event, I think Luke cost Harper or like interferes in that match somehow and maybe causes Bray to lose to put the belt on Randy, which I don't like, but have that set up another Randy Luke Harper story and maybe have Luke Harper win the belt from him after like a 2 or 3 match program.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Oh, what could you do? Could have Orton beat Harper. That's a gimme. Like, I'll be very shocked if Harper beats Randy Orton. Because
this is WWE, where the booking where points don't matter and the booking doesn't make sense. I think I said that wrong.
That's good. That's
Close
good.
enough.
So if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. So there's no way he's going to lose before Mania, but post-match, Bray could do his signature pose like above him, and then Harper could be like crawling up, like begging for forgiveness, like I'm sorry, I did wrong, and then Bray could take out Harper. Harper takes a sabbatical for a few weeks, and then returns and takes on Bray Wyatt. That way, Randy Orton could go on to face AJ Styles for the WWE title, and then Bray can fight Luke Harper at WrestleMania.
All right, next match here is a 2-on-1 handicap match. You have Apollo Crews and Kalisto there to take on Dolph Ziggler. This kind of came about after Dolph turned heel. He took out his frustrations on Kalisto, after a match with Baron Corbin, said, I can do it on my own, I don't need any help. Apollo Crews comes out. He took out Apollo Crews, and it's just been every other, 1 week he takes out one, the next week he takes out the other. Well, actually, when I say take out, I mean he loses the match to him, and then he beats the crap out of him. So I think after this, since they're trying to put the bad guy here at an obvious deficit, I think Dolph Ziggler's finally going to get that much-needed win. Because I thought him turning heel would give him like a boost. It would actually get him some wins. Right now it's done the exact opposite. But I think this Sunday, Ziggler's going to get that much-needed win. Because right now, Kalisto and Apollo Crews, I don't know if you saw them in the Rumble match, but in Kalisto, there was a few people doing the lucha thing, but when Crews went out, I mean, the crowd was dead silent. I mean, everyone was like, okay, it's Apollo Crews. Okay, yeah. So I think Ziggler's going to win this one.
Cruz needs to turn heel on Kalisto. Cruz needs to turn on Kalisto. Be a heel. At least fucking change something, because whatever they're doing right now is clearly not working.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel, because if Ziggler wins, and I think like that might be the best outcome out of this, but how does Ziggler win without making both of them look even fucking worse? I don't like handicap matches unless it's jobs. That's the only time I really enjoy handicap matches, or it's two heels on one face. I don't like a heel facing, or excuse me, two heels on a face. I don't like two faces on a heel. I don't.
Yeah, but, I mean, that makes sense, because if you're the bad guy and you lose to two faces, well, it was 2-on-1. It was unfair. But
Yeah.
if you're two faces and you lose to a heel, it's like it's 2-on-1. How the fuck did you lose? How the hell could you fuck this up?
Yeah, it's really, really stupid. I don't like this idea at all, and they've got to do something with Cruz.
And here's the thing:
somebody has all the talent in the world, and they just
even if they win, it's okay. It was two of you against one.
Okay, so there's no good booking that comes out of this match, unless, like LK said, by the grace of the God, Apollo Crews just decides to turn heel. And if you turn him a heel, I think you've got to change his music too. But I'm just with somebody that's I think that one of the biggest problems with Apollo Crews is that ever since he's made it up to the main roster, they have found it necessary to cut his offense in half. Like the moves that he does on offense, I think they've legitimately taken over half of it away from him, and he doesn't do it, which isn't how he gets over. He gets over by being extraordinarily athletic and extraordinarily strong. He ain't doing that. And just the happy to be there smiling kind of guy just doesn't work. And when this guy was in NXT, I saw all the promise in the world, and they have fucking floundered it. So they've got to do something. I don't know what that something is.
He is clearly Bailey done wrong. That's Bailey done wrong.
Yeah. He's too big to be considered an underdog. You know what I mean? Like, no one looks at him. Like, same thing with Cena. No one looks at him and is like, oh, that guy's working from underneath. You can look at Sami Zayn and be like, yeah, that guy's got to fight uphill. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have sympathy in that regard. You have to build him, I think, either as a superhero or a super villain. And I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's easier to get the crowd to hate you than to love you. So at least if you get a heel, then it can give him something to damn do, because the guy's fucking wasted.
But WWE just seems they're only interested in making their legends into superheroes, which I think is extraordinarily unfair. But whatever. This match is going to suck. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. It's not going to be good, which is really unfair because all three of those guys in that ring, phenomenal workers.
All right. Well, next we're going to get to the first of 3 women's matches. First, we're going to have Becky Lynch take on Mickie James. Of course, Mickie James turns out to be the one posing as La Luchadora, who was haunting Becky Lynch, and it cost her the championship against Alexa Bliss. Constantly interfered on her behalf. I think on this pay-per-view, I think Becky Lynch scores her revenge. I think she finally gets that win over Mickie James, and I think she goes on to Mania to challenge whoever the champion should be. So, and I think that's where they're going with that.
You think Mickie James is going to win?
No, I think Becky's going to win.
I think Becky Lynch will win. I think that's the best course of action here.
I'm the opposite.
She needs the win.
I think Mickie James won because since she's come back, she lost at Rumble in that set. Well, she didn't lose, but she was the one, on the losing team. So you can't have her come back because think about it. Look, there's been lots of new fans since 2009. They might not all know and respect Mickie James as much as us three and Internet Infantry. So I guess they could see it as, oh, look, Mickie James beats Becky Lynch. Okay, now they can actually, the new era fans, as they love to shove down everyone's throat, can see Mickie James is actually a fucking threat. And then I would have Mickie James. They'll do some multi-woman bullshit at WrestleMania. They'll do Mickie James, Naomi Bliss, and Naomi. That's the fucking bird I was after.
Yeah, I can see both sides of the argument. I think I'm going to go with Booms more so on this one. I think Becky Lynch builds it up, and they have her keep playing the underdog story. I think you could have Mickie James win here and then continue working on the underdog story. So I'm going to take the middle ground with y'all. I think Mickie James could win, and then you still build up the underdog story with Becky Lynch going into Mania, and Becky Lynch is the one that gets the Mania spot. But Mickie James could win here. I think if she does, she has to cheat to win. Yeah, I think that'd be the biggest deal because I'm just not in the idea of putting putting old talent into the top spot. Cough, cough. Everybody on Monday Night Raw, but yeah, I'm going to take the middle ground between the two of y'all.
Okay. Next, we're going to get to the second of the 3 women's matches. We have the champion Alexa Bliss taking on Naomi. Now, Naomi has scored a few pinfalls over Alexa Bliss in the past few weeks. He's kind of been haunting her, but I think Little Miss Bliss is finally going to get that much needed win because it's on the line, it's do or die, and I think she'll deliver. So I've got Alexa Bliss winning. I've got her winning clean over Naomi with Twisted Bliss. I love Alexa Bliss as the heel. I love the whole Harley Quinn character that she's doing right now. I think she paid off the boast when they did the draft. They drafted over Alexa Bliss. I don't think anybody. I knew she was good, but I didn't expect her to be this good this quick. And here's the thing: she's not done. She's only going to get better.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Like when we did our Triforce Awards, I said she was my most improved wrestler, and I stand by that. I think she was so low on the list. Wasn't she even not on the televised draft?
It was not on the television show. It was on the supplemental draft on the WWE Network.
Yeah, think about that. Somebody who wasn't even on the televised draft is right now their champion and one of their top heels. And honestly, I think she's one of my favorite heels on either show right now. I think she's good at making people dislike her. I love the Wicked Witch character that she's going for and just not giving a good goddamn and just being mean for the sake of being mean. Like, when was the last time you saw a heel do that? Kevin Owens, who I love, was mean and bad because he knew he would get underneath your skin so that he could win, so he could provide for his family. Braun Strowman's mean because he's big and strong and he just wants to get the best fight that he can. She's mean because she wants to be mean, and I like that. And I think she needs to win clear here, and if God help me, if Naomi wins the belt from her, that'll be the worst decision ever. Oh, cool, she's got a somewhat amusing entrance. Let's go ahead and put the belt on her so we can see more of those rapid, stupid fucking kicks. I hate those things.
Bliss retains. If not, I'm going to come on here and rant quite a bit. There you are. That's all you need to know.
That's what I love about it. Okay, so it's like, fuck that bird. I like my bird.
As long as my internet wife Peyton Royce comes in. Did you see I made Peyton Royce a part of the title for the NXT review?
She didn't even fucking wrestle, and you put her up.
She didn't even wrestle, but she was on the fucking logo.
Yes, we all know have internet wrestling wives. I love it.
Oh, well, y'all have internet wrestling wives. I have a future internet ex-wife.
Working on 2, Sammy.
I'm swinging
All
back
right,
400 over here.
Yeah. Okay, next we have a tag team turmoil match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, if you're not familiar with how this works is, what you do is you start out with 2 teams, and whenever one team loses, another team will then come in. And it just keeps going to all the tag teams have come in, and the last team standing is going to be the tag team champions. So we have the champions, American Alpha. They will take on Heath Slater and Rhino, Breezango, the Usos, the Ascension, and the Vaudevillains, all after another. I think this shows one right now what a fucking train wreck SmackDown has made their tag team division, and it's
the only thing that honestly I think SmackDown has really dropped the ball on is their tag team division.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the only ones out of all of these, American Alpha, I think is just an absolute travesty of what they did with them, because they came in and they were white hot from NXT, and everybody was pumped up, and it was like WWE's like, okay, we don't want to put the belts on them too fast. Let's just give them some time. Let's give them this side feud with the Usos, and then they kind of disappeared. They didn't really do anything, and finally, the last SmackDown of 2016, they win the championships from the Wyatt family, and even then we couldn't enjoy it because it wasn't like this big build-up where they fought their way to number one contendership. They struggled, and they overcame the Wyatts. No, it was, well, the Wyatts imploded, and American Alpha, like them winning the championships, became an afterthought. And then Heath Slater and Rhino, I don't know. Apparently, I'm beginning to think that Heath Slater must have parked in Stephanie McMahon's parking spot at Titan Towers. because they just after they made them the inaugural champions. After they lost it, I mean, they were just done.
Oh yeah, I totally saw that coming. I knew the second they lost that they weren't going to go anywhere because there's no other stories you can tell with those two anymore.
Because I thought they were going to turn on each other, but no, they managed to stay together. Breezango, I thought it was odd to put Fandango and Tyler Breeze together as a tag team, especially with the Fashion Police gimmick.
Oh my God, what a terrible gimmick.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought those motherfuckers were going to walk in the front door of the fucking Quest.
For you that don't know what the Quest is, the Quest is a local gay bar here in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, Booms, would you like to regale the people of why you know that place exists?
I was told as a young man to please stay away from that place. Go to Bell Bottoms instead.
Oh, Bell Bottoms? Dude, they closed Bell Bottoms like 20 years ago.
No, they didn't, because last time I was there, I think we played, never mind. It's a different story.
Yeah, but it's just like, last time I was there, we totally played Pac-Man. It was the new hot game, you old bastard.
Yeah. All right, the Usos, they did the heel turn with them, and then they showed some promise, and then that was all.
I don't know what promise you saw.
Never showed promise. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, they turned them heel. They were doing something different with them. That was the promise.
Yeah, well.
The fact they're in is unpromising.
Dude, for some reason, the Usos are still huge in Birmingham. Every time I've been to a taping or a SmackDown or a house show in Birmingham, the fucking Usos get huge pops. I don't fucking understand it. It's weird as shit. Yeah, by the way,
there's reaction on TV.
Yeah, and then you got the Ascension. I don't really need to say anymore.
Dude, they won on SmackDown. They actually won a clean on SmackDown.
They did win on Tuesday. I think putting the belts on him here would be silly, but I think them winning is a good thing because they need to start turning him. They got the makeup, they got the look. They need to drop all of the other, when they first brought them up and they were just turning them into demolition, they need to drop that and just have them be what they were in NXT, which is two big dudes. I mean, mind you, they're not as big as when they were in NXT because NXT was much smaller, just smaller demographic, physically speaking, and just have them hurt people because they're good. They got a great finisher and a great look. I wouldn't be super upset if they put the Ascension or put the belts on the Ascension right here because they could turn them into a threat. And I like that. And you could have American Alpha win the belts back from them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking way too much into this, but they did win on Tuesday.
Right. And then you have the Vaudevillains. Now, these two were already on thin ice when they got there because Vince McMahon reportedly just didn't get the gimmick. And I'm like,
you think as ancient as his bitch ass is that he would understand what it is?
Vaudeville, like old-timey 1900s guys,
where wrestling came from.
Exactly. But apparently, I think the nail in their coffin was Simon Gotch got in some kind of backstage altercation, and that led to some problems. So that caused both of them to start jobbing. And here's the problem, and here's another thing that I find a problem with the tag team division in a promotion right now where they're hurting for talent, they're hurting to fill time. You've got 6 teams here, 3 of which I say have got some credibility to them, and of course I'm talking about American Alpha, Slater, Rhino, and then the Usos. I mean, why aren't you filling more time with them? I feel like this is just the one facet, and I don't know why they've completely dropped the ball there. I mean, everybody's a fucking afterthought. They did no follow-up.
They've done such a good job making the women have each individual pretty good or at least well thought out stories. Why can't you do the same thing with the tag teams?
Exactly. But any prediction here?
More than likely, American Alpha, I think, will retain, but I think they could throw us a really cool curveball and have the Ascension win. I would genuinely like that, but you never know.
Yeah, I think
God, just at least the hype bros aren't in it.
Don't you fucking put that evil on me. Don't you say that. And I hear like, woo. I'm like, oh my God, they're the surprise last people. And it comes in and Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder back together. And, well, hi, guys, that's my favorite tag team wrestlers in the world. I sure do like them hot brothers.
That's not going to happen.
We're so excited. And
remember Zack Ryder's hurt.
What?
Remember Zack Ryder's hurt.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, yeah, we had to make an apology video. That was quite funny.
Yeah, we did. We totally did. Because we talked mad shit on Zack Ryder. Just like hardcore. Woo!
Boobs, this is the most incredible thing ever. So we go live after SmackDown, yeah, and we go on and we fucking bury the fuck out of Ryder, saying if he got fired today, it'll be great. And if he got injured, it'll be amazing. And then next thing we know, WWE.com releases breaking news that Zack Ryder's injured. So we're like, we better make a video.
Oh, it was awesome. We were like, we're really sorry. Like, you don't mean that. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, these are characters every much as what you see on TV as characters. And we wish you a speedy recovery. Like, it was, oh my God, it was so fucking awful. I felt so bad. At the same time, amazing. It was hilarious.
You know what? I think, I'm going to go on a prediction out of left field here. I'm going to say it's the Usos who are going to win this.
That is the worst decision, and that was my
No. Hear me out. The Usos will win because they'll come in last. They'll basically, because if it was me booking this, here's what I would do. I would put America Alpha in first because they're because they're the champions. They need to defend their belts, whatever the excuse. But they come in as number one. They have to go. They fend off all the tag teams, and the Usos come in last, fresh as daisies, and they steal the victory from American Alpha. And then for the next few weeks, I build up this feud between Jimmy and Jey Uso and American Alpha, and then I have American Alpha go over at Mania, basically, so they have that pop, they have that moment at Mania.
You know what? If that's your booking idea, give me your phone number. I've got Vince's phone right here, so I can block it, so he doesn't phone you. I do not want the Usos at WrestleMania. I don't want them in the building. I don't want them even in the same state. If I see them in Florida, I'm going to make sure that they're not, by any means necessary.
Y'all know that Vince is watching right now, and he saw that, and he's like, God damn it, we gotta put those championships on the Usos. I would like to see the same exact story, just with the Ascension, not the fucking...
Oh, yeah, I agree. I just hate Usos, and I'd be the biggest hypocrite if I said I want the Usos to win the belt. So I want the Usos to fucking... I don't want them to get injured, I just wish them not.
Yeah, last time we wished injury on somebody, the dark gods of wrestling granted our wish, and we had to live with the fucking heat of that. We had to live with the fact that we put that evil on somebody.
There's a reason why Ember hasn't debuted yet.
All right, next year we get to the third and final of the 3 women's matches. We have Nikki Bella versus Natalya in the pettiest feud I've ever heard of. I really don't know where to go with this because I know there's been reports on the dirt sheets. I believe it was reported on Kocosports.com that Nikki Bella's looking at taking some time off after Mania. So what do? Do they give her like a good send-off? Do they build her up going to Mania? Or do they keep the heat on Natty to have her win the feud? I really don't know where they're going to go with this. My heart is telling me that it's going to be Natty, but my brain is telling me it's going to be Nikki. So I'm going to go with my noggin. I'm going with Nikki Bella.
Nikki has Cena's cock in her mouth and Vince's. She's going over. There is no way Nikki doesn't go over. Think about it. She goes to Mania, then she fucks off. She'll come back. She thinks she's some big draw that she could come back at SummerSlam and wrestle one match like Brock fucking Lesnar and The Undertaker. It's the funniest thing. I read that and I was in hysterics. Like Nikki Bella going, my next, I'll come back for the big ones because I'm a big star, I'm Nikki fucking Bella. I was like, you're nothing but a whore, you silly bitch.
Well, here's a good question, and I agree with LK on this, but for both of you, when the fuck did Nikki Bella become popular? Listen to her pops, man. Like, when she left, no one gave a shit, and they came back, and all of a sudden she was popular.
That's because the girls, isn't it? They've been brainwashed that she's, fearless, the leader of the Bella Army. Oh, fuck off. Stupid whore.
I think it was when they did Total Divas, and then I guess her and Bree stuck out a little bit, so they made the spinoff Total Bellas, and I think they're just milking that for all it's worth. And by the way, I think it's the complete opposite of what you want little girls to be. Like, granted, my daughter's like way super old, but if she was like little again, I'd rather her like be like a stripper than be a Bella.
The thing is, they've just added that to the WWE Network. Now the WWE Network's actually devalued in price to actually $9.98 because of the pence that the Total Bellas is on there, taking up archived footage.
It's and I'm with you on there. Like, luckily, having a little boy, and especially, me being a wrestling fan, and he's going to be a wrestling fan. I don't think he has a choice in the matter. He has quite a few people that he can look up to, and I'm cool with that. Even some of the women, like, who doesn't fucking love Bayley? Everyone loves Bayley. I mean, Asuka's better, but everyone loves Bayley.
Exactly.
Not as good as Peyton Royce, but that's a different story for a different time.
She didn't even wrestle, man.
Dude, we can't. Dude, you know the rules. We can't claim. You've already claimed your internet wrestling wife. We can't claim her.
I don't care. She needs to be mentioned more.
They did, by the graces of some dark god, get breakout star of the year. Figure that fucking voodoo out.
Like, it's just me voting on 18 different Twitter accounts.
I made 1,800,000 different accounts so that she can win. That's goddamn
All
dedication.
called I Love Peyton Royce.
All right, then we get to the main event here. We have an Elimination Chamber match. You have the 6 guys in here. You have John Cena, the champion, versus AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus The Miz versus Baron Corbin versus Bray Wyatt. Now, if you read the dirt sheets, Bray Wyatt is penciled in to win the championship, and meanwhile, John Cena is supposed to team up with Nikki Bella to take on The Miz and Maurice at Mania. is what they're penciling in. And this makes some sense considering they completely dropped the whole Miz and Maurice feud with Renee Young and Dean Ambrose. I was wondering why they dropped that. It didn't make sense. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, it makes sense why they dropped that now. I kind of hate that they didn't have any resolution because here they could have done the resolution. I'm going to say something that's going to be kind of popular with Sandy, but not the way that he hopes. I think it's a colossal mistake to put Dean Ambrose in this match.
Yay!
But here's why. Because he's the Intercontinental Champion, and I feel like he needs to be on this pay-per-view defending it.
I agree.
He's there to take the fall to Corbin. He's there to take the fall to Corbin, and then you get Corbin versus Ambrose at Mania for the IC title.
Yeah. You know what? I'm completely cool with that. Honestly, of everybody, I think Baron Corbin needs to come out of this looking the strongest, even if he doesn't win. I just want to see him hit. I really like both his finishers. But his signature and his finisher move, I absolutely love them. I love the Deep Six, and I love the End of Days. And we all know how much Booms just absolutely loves Baron Corbin.
Yeah, don't you know it? Yeah, basically.
But I think they could do good with him, make him look strong to get that decent match with him and Dean Ambrose. But I'm with you. I think Ambrose is going to win. I would rather AJ Styles win it back. Because the rumor is right now that it's going to be AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, and that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
You know what? You know what I want to see at Mania, and this is just me, and I know I'm not in the minority here, but I think you could do this if you booked it just right, because then you could book it as Raw versus SmackDown. Why not do AJ Styles versus Finn Balor?
Yeah, but how would you do it?
Booked carefully.
It's cool.
I know that, but you could do it under the guise, like for the TV crowd, you could do it under the guise of Raw versus SmackDown, kind of like, you choose your guy, we choose our guy, we put them in, we see who's the better brand kind of deal. But behind the scenes, it's like, it's the fucking Bullet Club. Yeah. And I'm like, I even told, God, this makes me sound like a conceited fucking asshole, but when, back when they were doing, I think it was Backlash here in Richmond, AJ Styles came by my TV station to promote Backlash here in Richmond. And so I got to, shake hands with him. I got him to autograph a picture. And while he's there just talking around, I said, well, what are the odds are that, you and Finn Balor go at it at Mania? And he's like, well, he should be healed up by then. I was like, well, I said, tell him let's shut up and take my money kind of match. I straight up told him that to his face. So, he just went back to Vince and told him that. It's like, hey, this fucking fat kid from Richmond just said, hey, he wants to see me take on Finn Balor. He said if he did that, he would tell you to shut up and take his money. And Vince was like, that's a hell of a good idea. I got to go get his $9.99.
We need to get that gun bullet in the Chamber Club on a goddamn mat. God damn it.
And also
the Bullet Club is.
The thing is, with the Elimination Chamber, you said earlier about that there was different, it'll be a different chamber.
Supposedly.
What
That's
about
the rumor.
I'm thinking they might take out the pods and they might enter through the actual cage door. That's what I think.
Who fucking knows at this point in time?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? What was I gonna say? Truth be told, I don't know who Finn Balor's gonna wrestle at Mania, and I don't know who AJ is gonna wrestle at Mania. I really don't want AJ McMahon. That would be terrible.
No,
I would
think it's gonna be
rather
horrible.
see. I don't know who I want to see AJ wrestle. Honestly, I would like to see Finn Balor go up against Undertaker and have that be the passing of the torch.
I wouldn't be upset at that. I wouldn't.
I like that because Finn Balor can carry him, can't he? Finn Balor can carry him.
Oh, absolutely. Finn Balor can carry him. I mean, nothing against Taker. Taker still, he deserves his spot. And he can still work his ass off for somebody that is beat up as he is. And they would do a hell of a match. And you could have him hand over that ceremonial torch and go like, look, you're the next you're the next transcendent star. You're that next supernatural baby face or whatever the company needs you to be. Here you go. And I'm going to ride off like the dead man, the man on the white horse, and just ride off into the sunset and have him stand there in full demon gear. And my favorite part of Finn Balor matches, honestly, are at the end of the match when he's fought the entire time and like the makeup is just smeared all over the place, because I love that because it makes it look like he went through hell. And they did that very specifically in The Dark Knight with the Joker, so that the longer he went on, the more it faded and got fucked up, and it looked more and more demented and like he had been through true hell. And Finn Balor does that too. And I think if you did that and then just had Undertaker just shake his hand and then just walk off, that's the match I want to see. Now, how do you build to that? I don't know. But that's what I want to see.
AJ to win the title, back to the original fucking point. AJ to win the title of Chamber, and then my dream match that I've been talking about for too long now. It's like Sammy's Brock versus Samoa Joe. This is the match I want.
So if y'all haven't heard about my Brock Samoa Joe theory...
Oh, God, please don't. We've heard this too much. I want, if we build a sports entertainer from the ground up, we get Randy Orton versus AJ Styles in Mania for the title. Like, I love one-on-one great wrestling matches for the title in the main event of Mania. That is, you can't get a better match than Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. WWE-wise, anyway.
I think that's the best outcome that we have on the table. The part of me really does want to see Bray win the championship, because I think it would finally, after all this time, because God, he keeps getting forgotten about, but then he put on a good match, and then he is one of the best guys at promoting a match on his own without help of somebody else. And I think he could add a cool mystical prestige to the title, and it would just bonify him, for lack of a better term. But I know it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and again, not to sound like a prick or name drop, Sammy, but you do realize we went to college with him.
Yeah, we totally did. Fun Size probably had a class with him.
Yeah, we if for those, me and Sandy both went to Troy University, and at that point back, I think this was around circa 06, 07.
07.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt was just Wyndham Rotunda. He was trying to make he was on the Troy University football team. I don't think he was a starter, but he was a lineman. And I used to work at a deli, and we used to feed some of the athletes, and he came in there, and our boss was like, "Oh yeah, I heard your grandfather was a wrestler." He's like, "Oh yeah, Blackjack Mulligan," and I just like stopped in my tracks. And he's like, "Oh yeah, my dad was Mike Rotundo." And I'm like, IRS? And I was like, "Oh cool." And then it made sense because he used to wear like these Captain Mike Rotundo T-shirts, because like he'd be practicing, he'd have the sleeves cut off, and it would just say Captain Mike Rotundo. Like that was kind of odd because we're seeing a wrestling shirt wasn't that big deal, but to see something that obscure as like Mike Rotundo, it was a little different there. So good. And the next thing I know, he leaves school, and then he's like, "Oh, he's going to go train to be a professional wrestler in Florida." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And the next thing I know, he pops up as Husky Harris on NXT.
So you can get us an interview with Bray Wyatt then.
That's essentially what you just told us.
Yeah,
that's all I heard. It's Boo Boo's friends with Boo Boo's friends with Boo Boo's friends with. So we might be joined.
If you don't deliver, the internet infantry is going to destroy you.
And instead of this talking smack bullshit, if Bray Wyatt wins the Elimination Chamber, I know you're going to be the first person who he comes on the air. So we'll be expecting Bray Wyatt as our third guest on Wrestle AM.
Because if you don't, it's going to be like hashtag beat up boom boom. Like, it's just going to go down like that.
Chauncey Bullock strikes
We
again.
we fucking social media promote it as if it's actually gonna happen. He's not gonna read. He's not gonna read to it, is he? But just make it seem like it's legit happening.
Oh, that would be great.
I don't know. I'm interested because they've actually got SmackDown coming here in March. And of course, this is on the road to WrestleMania, so I'm interested to see who they're going to send over to my station as the guest.
Oh, dude, if it's Bray Wyatt, I'm fucking flying over there, dude.
And then I need you to do me a favor and just fucking Nancy Kerrigan him and just pop him in the kneecap. So we'd be like, why? And we just all laugh and giggle because he'll never have to get in the ring again. We won't say that it's you, and that when there's no one's the wiser.
I just put on a mask, pop him in the kneecap in the parking lot, and move on. No, but I pull over Rikishi and run him over. I did it for the infantry. I did it for the fans.
Dude, if you get a prison for taking out Mojo Rawley, you're in the right with me. You'll be fine in prison. You won't get butt raped by anyone. You'll be fucking treated like king.
Hashtag don't beat up.
I'm sitting on a cot smoking a cigarette. What are you in for? And be like, to save goddamn wrestling. That's what the fuck I'm in for.
You just like cut fucking cue to a what's his name? Morgan Freeman cue over and be like, Boom Boom's made quite a few friends that day. It never was quite the same, but neither was wrestling.
That's my favorite. Shawshank Redemption is my favorite film of all time. What a film!
Oh god, I fucking love that movie. Can I have a T-shirt with you smoking that says that? Just like fucking Sin City silhouetted. It just says, I saved goddamn wrestling. Oh, God.
Mateo TC. Wait. Time out. Mateo TC, there's your new T-shirt. There's your new T-shirt. A silhouette of me smoking a cigarette saying, I just saved goddamn wrestling.
Yeah, that's our $1 million idea because you can just put whatever wrestlers you want on there. Anybody you want, I'd say goddamn wrestling. This is how we make millions, gentlemen, just so y'all know.
Oh,
God. This will be talked about this very episode. This will be the episode talked about in years to come.
This is going to be the part. This is going to be the episode where LK takes a little clip here, and a little clip there, condenses it down, and puts it out on its own. Boom Boom's playing to save wrestling.
Dude, the first video will be Bray, your best friend wants free tickets.
It's like really bad and cut it up so it looks like Boom Boom says he's gonna get a Bray Wyatt interview. Like, yeah, I totally know Bray Wyatt. Just completely fuck it up.
Coming this Sunday, Bray Wyatt on Wrestle AM and have a little slick video back.
God, y'all know how much I'm looking forward to when if they start doing the cruiserweight tournament again, and we can pull up that fucking rant I went on about the cruiserweights.
Oh, I need to do that. I might upload that on one of my next days off because that was funny, and it's been a while now, so people would have forgotten about it.
Oh my god, I fucking loved it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, I'm fairly certain there's a fucking pay-per-view we were talking about at some point in time lately.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about the Elimination Chamber, then we were talking about guests, then we were talking about Mania, then we talked about running over Mojo Rawley.
All good things.
Goddamn wrestling. That's the best thing I've heard all fucking week. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. You don't want to go to comment time and start riding this bus off and set?
Yes, it's a good idea. Where were we then?
No, that's it. That's the pay-per-view. That's what it's going to be. I think this is the last SmackDown pay-per-view until Mania. And honestly, I wish them the best of luck. I hope they, you know what? And I said this I think during the NXT. I think it was either the SmackDown or NXT review. I said this, even though I know it doesn't kayfabe wise. You want to wait like a year, but I think it would really be beneficial to both brands, especially SmackDown, if they go ahead and do a draft lottery immediately following. Like the week after Mania, because you have Mania, you have the Monday Night Raw, in this case, in the Tuesday Night SmackDown. Then I think the next week you could hook audiences by doing a draft lottery, basically starting things over again. So So all the people that you pulled in with Mania, with the WWE, the new subscriptions, you could keep them on for the rest of the year and build up your audience.
I read today that they were going to do it in June or July, if I'm right.
Yeah, I know.
Agree with your plan.
But to me, I think
as soon as we go off the air that there's gonna be an article like Mojo Rawley run over by Masked Assassin.
Oh, dude, I swear.
And we're gonna have to come back and be like, so it wasn't us, guys. We're really sorry. We promise. Find out it was fucking. It was Ray Mastani and it's fucking just taking the car. Like, I've got to prove my loyalty.
I haven't seen that guy again in ages. Where's he been? Like, why he keeps popping in and out?
Who fucking knows? He has probably tried to be like, oh, I'm going to go fucking get some Sherpas to climb to the highest fucking mountain in Tibet to learn center so that I can totally smash this girl that sits next to me.
Andy Paps will do a run in. He'll hit him with the Paps blue ribbon, leave him laying. Like, I'm
Paps blue ribbon. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. How did I never think of that? That's the most brilliant shit I've ever heard. Oh my god, I love it so much.
Yeah. Andy was training to be a wrestler, and then like he was supposed to debut, and then he didn't. And then he didn't, and I hate that because I wanted to see him wrestle.
Paps blue ribbon. That is so. You know me, Fun Size, and our other buddy Coker. Whenever we get bored, and it happens like every 6 months. We switch our wrestling gimmick, and we all just make our own wrestling gimmick and some trios. For the last year, though, we've been the Hill People, which is just the hillbilly version of Bray Wyatt. So they're swamp people. We're hill people. By the way, hill people, singular and plural term. You can be a hill people. And that was our gimmick. We're just gonna go hauling ass down to the ring in like a 96 F-150, just hanging out of the sides, fucking chugging. Just got like the beast in a blue can, and just cut terrible promos. But man, we done last week. We decided to join that there Bullet Club, man, because you know we like guns, we like bullets, we like beating people up and drinking beer, and we can't go back to our gun club because Dale the other day done got us kicked us out back in October. So we're like, what the hell, man? Let's go. We're old time motherfucking tied. And we would just do that for hours because we're the hill people. Oh yeah, and by the way, we decided we were the southeastern chapter of the Bullet Club, so we're Bullet Club SEC because that's the most brilliant fucking thing I've ever heard of. This is what I do when I'm bored. I just cut promos in my character because I'm Hillbilly Dale. Because that is hilarious. And then we have Ryan the Redneck and Hillbilly Cletus.
Oh, the fact that people actually watch is fucking hilarious.
The fact that if there's anybody watching right now, God fucking kudos to y'all. Y'all deserve it. Y'all get a gold star. Y'all get a banana sticker. Jesus fucking Christ. Didn't I? Oh, yeah, we were totally going to do some live chats. Who wants to fucking knock those bad boys out?
Okay, I'll start looking. Do you want me to start at the very top here? I'm just going to look for questions and comments, so just give me a second here. Okay, Rick1982 asks, what matches would you book for Impact Wrestling versus Pro Wrestling Noah? Must be from the current roster. To be honest, I don't know enough about Pro Wrestling Noah to make a fair assessment of who I would put against each other.
Same here.
Well, I would have Marufuji. I would have Marufuji versus Eddie Edwards. That would be my main event. Marufuji, Eddie Edwards. That would be it. That's what
I'd have to learn more about Pro Wrestling Noah before I could make a judgment on that one. Let's see. Rick1982 asks, I know you aren't fans of What Culture Pro Wrestling, but will you at least check out their upcoming True Destiny pay-per-view happening this Sunday? They have the full match card on their Facebook page.
If you buy it for me, how about this? If you buy it for me, I'll watch it. How about that?
I can't spare the money. I watched the.
I didn't mean you. I didn't mean you, Sam. I didn't mean you, Sam. I didn't mean you pay me.
No, I totally got you. It's when I meant like I don't have the money. It's like I don't have the money for me to buy the goddamn thing. And they've had some good matches. You know, I watched the Cody Rhodes Marty Scurll match, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't dislike What Culture Pro Wrestling. I just don't know dick about it. And I'm already paying too much.
I know they just started last year. That's all I really know.
Careless and naive to watch it. That's our shot. That's our spot that they've got.
I'm looking for it here. I'm actually looking. So it's the 12th. Hang give me 1 second. Okay, here's the matches they have. I'm working from the bottom and working my way up. Priestley versus Tessa Blanchard. Okay. Rampage versus Primate in an I Quit match. Pentagon Jr. versus Drago.
Well, they've got my money.
Yeah, damn. That's impressive.
All you had to say was Pentagon Jr. You've been like Pentagon Jr. versus a broom wearing a bra. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking watching that.
This is what it says, and I'm quoting here: Tag Team Championship ladder match. It does not say who, but that's what it is.
It's just an empty-ass ring.
Yeah.
The invisible people versus those from another dimension.
It was meant to be Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder.
Supposed to be Mojo Rawley. They got taken fucking Ramstani is just cleaning blood off the hood of his car. Like, I got that son of a bitch. They'll have to love me now.
Next is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Travis Banks.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay versus Ricochet.
That'll be good.
And this match here is for the What Culture Pro Wrestling Championship. Drew Galloway versus Joe Hendry.
Hendry. That will be good. That will be good.
I know who Galloway is. I'm not familiar with Hendry, but and apparently
ICW guy. He's really good.
Okay, and then their main event here is Kurt Angle versus Alberto El Patron.
Ooh.
Well, how about I'll make a deal. I'll make a deal. Who was it who asked for it?
That would be. Give me a second. That was Rick 1982.
Right, I'm turning into complete shill mode right now, and I apologize about this, ladies and gentlemen. Right, if you sign up to the Patreon pledge, I have a $5 per month deal. For $5 per month, you get all my exclusive content, and also you get your access to your own show reviewed. $5 would be the price of this pay-per-view for What Culture Extra. Add the two together, you sign up, I review it. You sign up, I review it. And it's simple as that, buddy. If you want it reviewed, Patreon and extra exclusive content. That's fair. I'm making a fair deal. Fair deal. I'm Don West. I swear it.
All right, and then I'm going down the line here. Just give me a second. I'm just looking for questions because if I read the comments, we'll be here all night.
Appreciate everyone leaving the comments.
Mr. Bioko, Bioko. I've just fucked up your name. I apologize.
Bianca.
Sold. He says, "How was Impact tonight?" I gave it a win.
I'm really far behind. I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah. Let's see here. They all like the Shawshank Redemption for some reason and hate Mojo Rawley here.
Good.
All right. Edward Mohan. Okay, Edward Mohan. Question.
He said it wrong. He said it wrong. No, whoa. It's
Edward.
Edward.
Do it. Okay.
It's Edward.
Okay. He says, "Who the fuck is interested in Mojo Rawley versus forgot the other dick?"
I think you answered your own question.
Yeah, not you.
Literally didn't even know he was wrestling at this event. God damn it.
There's no way he's wrestling, is it?
Mojo Rawley, I wish you the best of luck in everything that isn't wrestling. Go do something else. Go do daytime soap operas. Go fucking host the Today Show. Go do some obscure channel like fucking shit on G4, which I don't even think fucking exists anymore. Go do some internet shit. Go do some indies. No, don't go into indies. Just go do anything that isn't wrestling. For the love of God. Jesus Christ. What did I say about him? I think I said I'd rather get a sandpaper hand job than watch him wrestle.
Oh, it was something about your granddad.
That was it. It's like I would rather watch my granddad get an erection in real time than watch him wrestle.
Wow.
I don't like him, if you can't tell.
Okay. Never would have noticed. Does Mojo Rawley have a match at Elimination Chamber? No, he does not. What is your weight category? I don't know what that means. Mr. Bioko wants to know. I have no idea what that means. I mean, am I weighing in for a fucking prize fight or something?
Yeah, but it says, like, I think I'm a heavyweight. LK's a cruiser. Booms is old man weight. So I think we got all three of them hit.
I have a dad bod.
Rick 1982. Don't want it reviewed, LK, LOL. Oh, my Don West didn't work.
Damn it!
Speaking of Don West shilling, me and SOS Wrestle Talk just did a good show on UWF starting over 1988 from Japan. That's going up. Basically, Patreon for some reason isn't loading right now, so I'll have to upload it tomorrow. But I've got 3 shows in the can, so pledge right now as little as $1 per month.
Now, Tyler Dillon just asked a good question. Are we doing the prediction game? I guess so.
Yeah, wait till it's post live. So wait till all the comments are done, and I'll do it over the weekend for sure.
Yeah, so just down here, like wait till the show's over, and then down here in the comment section, put your picks.
Pretty much. Mojo on Nickelodeon. That made me pop.
Yeah, that's about the only place he would be welcome.
Okay, all right. I guess that's gonna do it. Anybody want to say anything here before I do my sales pitch?
If y'all are listening, and get real close, it's about to be your fire time chats with Sammy Sinister and the smooth sounds of some delightful jazz. So we're just gonna take a nice swift ride down memory lane, and we're gonna talk about that one time about I don't know 5-10 minutes ago, where we all just got real calm, real sexy, drank some Chardonnay, laid down by our bearskin rug next to the fire with our 6-inch Wayne Gretzky action figure. And you're going to make sweet, sweet love to it. But before you make sweet, sweet love to that 6-inch Wayne Gretzky action figure from the Edmonton Oilers, not the LA Kings, you're going to ponder back and think about how much Kocosports absolutely hates Mojo Rawley. And you're going to let that rage and that hate just give you the most terrific hard-on that you've ever had. Let your hate and your rage pour right down into your blood sack. And then you will look Wayne Gretzky 6-inch action figure right in its eyes. Give it whatever you need. Here's the scary part. I don't know where this shit comes from. It just happens.
Oh, you got lots to look forward to on the channel. You got Bray Wyatt coming on Wrestling.
So here's some highlights from this show in case you didn't miss it. Boom Booms is going to get an interview with Bray Wyatt. Rey Mysterio's going to run over Mojo Rawley. Then after, Boom Booms is going to save goddamn wrestling. And then you're going to fuck a 6-inch Wayne Gretzky action figure.
And we previewed Elimination Chamber.
Oh, yeah, that happened too. Yeah, tertiary to the other shit.
Yeah, and we reviewed Impact.
Oh, yeah, see, I wasn't even here for that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and people say you shouldn't subscribe to Kocosports.net. This is the reason why you should. Entertainment value.
Mm-hmm. All right, kids. So in the meantime, I want to tell everybody thank you everybody for joining us live here. If we missed any questions or comments, just put them down here. We'll get to them later. We'll do the pick'em contest. We'll get that set up in just a little bit. In the meantime, I'd like to invite everybody to check us out at Kocosports.com, KOCOsports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We got shows coming out all the time. We've got the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, all those reviews in the can. Of course, there's the preview. A lot of pay-per-views coming up this weekend. If somebody can get me some internet magic so we can watch What Culture, I'll check it out. New Japan's got a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. Elimination Chambers this weekend. God, there's a lot of pay-per-views this weekend. I'm going to be busy. We'll check, we're going to try to check all those out, get them reviewed. Of course, we'll start all over again on Monday as we do our countdown to WrestleMania. So I'd like to thank Sammy and LK for joining us here tonight. So in the meantime, the boom just went bang, and I am out.